Snoop Dogg is offering an apology to journalist Gayle King following backlash over his comments appearing to, well, he did threaten the CBS This Morning anchor for asking questions about the late Kobe Bryant's 2003 rape case in an interview with WNBA star Lisa Leslie.
Two wrongs don't make no right. When you're wrong, you gotta fix it.
So with that being said, Gayle King,
I publicly tore you down by coming at you in a derogatory manner based off of emotions, me being angry at questions that you asked.
overreacted.
I should have handled it way different than that. I was raised way better than that. So I would like to apologize to you publicly for the language that I used and calling you out of your name and just being disrespectful. I didn't mean for it to be like that. I was just expressing myself for a friend that wasn't here to defend himself.
A lot of people look up to me.
And they love me and they appreciate me, so I want to let them know that anytime you mess up, it's okay to fix it. It's okay to man up and say that you're wrong. I apologize. Hopefully we can sit down and talk privately. Have a good day.
Joe, you go first.
So, yeah, well, listen, it was pretty straightforward apology, a complete apology. I thought it was a complete apology. I know you have a slightly different take on it, but you know, I think we all screw up. We all mess up, and when we do, we need to step forward and apologize. And the part of that apology, I mean, he said he overreacted. He apologized fully. He was being disrespectful, and he said he needed to, quote, man up and apologize. He did, and I thought the best part of it was when he said that they needed to get together and talk privately, which I'm sure at some point they will, though I'm sure this is still very, very raw for Gayle. She's been through hell over the past week, and I know she has to be disillusioned by people that she thought were friends who sat by and said absolutely nothing. I know she has to be disillusioned. I know she has to be disillusioned by newspapers like the New York Times and others who claim to be such champions of journalistic freedom and protecting journalists. They talk about protecting journalists worldwide, but they don't even protect one down the street when her life is threatened. It's very strange, this conspiracy of silence to protect and defend a black female journalist. I'm ready to move past Snoop and what he said. I'm far more focused on this complete dereliction of duty by opinion writers, by media figures, by leaders, both black and white, who have refused to step forward and speak truth to power. We have one of the few on this set who have, and that's, of course, Reverend Al. So what do you think, Mika?
Well, I don't think those folks are off the hook just because Snoop delivered this
they're not
so-called apology. I think it was an apology in some ways, but it wasn't in others, and here's why. First of all, it's quite a turnaround, okay, from what he put out there, and it took a week, which is problematic. When you've done something wrong, you know it right away, and you get right out there, and you do not give any excuses for it, and his first line gave an excuse. Two wrongs don't make a right. Let me explain why that's problematic. He left Gayle hanging in an area that's quite important to all of this, which I'll let the Rev talk about. Two wrongs don't make a right? No. That's not okay, and that kind of undermines the entire apology. The other thing is, you know, you have to wonder why it took a week. What is it that made him think for a week about this before coming out with this? And what he did when he tore Gayle down and threatened her with a profanity-laced tirade is he divided people. And he knew he was doing that. He knew he was ginning up division. It's not a good look at all. So I think he's going to need to do more. I think it's a good start. But a lot needs to happen before this really is, quite frankly, in a place of peace.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Radioactive Rant. I am your humble host, so let's break it down and get on into it. The subject of today's video presentation is Snoop Dogg's apology to Gayle King wasn't fast enough for MSNBC's Mika Brzeniski. Now, I caught this episode of Morning Joe on February 13th. And in the clip you just saw, we see that the black man can't apologize fast enough for white supremacy. We have Mika the bigot Brzezinski to come along and shore up the position for white supremacy. And you see Mika the bigot Brzezinski feels as though she gets to dictate how fast an apology should come from Snoop Dogg concerning his lambasting of Gayle the Mammy King for the throwing shade on the beloved Kobe Bryant. You see, when the long arm of white supremacy shows its ugly head, you get Mika the bigot Brzezinski telling Snoop Dogg his apology is no good because he didn't step and fetch it fast enough for her. But after all, isn't that the way white supremacy works? Think Jim Crow. Here's the deal. Cable and network news represents white supremacy. It's true. Both mediums go out of their way to paint black men as sexual predators. All right? You follow me? There's not a cable or network news station that didn't cover and report on Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and Kobe Bryant. Meanwhile, the likes of Harvey Weinstein, Matt Lauer, Rob Lowe, David Bowie, Robert Kraft, Les Moonves, and Kevin Spacey all get a free pass. Gayle King didn't go after Les Moonves, but she went after R. Kelly and Kobe Bryant. Hell, going after R. Kelly got her a pay raise, but going after her white paymasters, well, that'd get her looking for a new gig now, wouldn't it? I mean, if you look at it, Gayle the Mammy King did very well with the assassination of Robert Kelly. Hell, she negotiated a $5 million pay raise, bringing her yearly salary to $11 million. So it stood to reason, why not do the same with a dead black man? Or at least, that's what they thought. Wrong answer. But that aside for a moment, here's the bigger question. Why would one major cable news outlet come to the aid of another major network television competitor? It's simple. To defend white supremacy. It's simple as that. Brzezinski wasn't necessarily coming to the aid of Gayle and Jemima King. Brzezinski, the bigot, was defending white supremacy. And she went out of her way to do that. In fact, MSNBC, I blame MSNBC, MSNBC went out of its way to defend white supremacy because, after all, that's what white supremacy does. White supremacy sticks together. However, the plan failed disastrously. But, you know, fear not. Mika, the bigot Brzezinski, to the attack. But if we hold on here just for a second, let he or she without sin cast the first stone. And Brzezinski is not without sin her damn self.